Welcome to Strategy First. My name is Straj. I'm playing White Gold Tower today with Frost Chaos, Cuddles, and Tafsum. Sadly, their audio is not working for this video, but let's get started. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. So we're talking strategy at this point on the ads. With this is my first time with my tank character, who I have not played in months. Now, he is also only a vet 4. This is a vet 16 dungeon. The ad strategy that we are talking about is how they come out in pairs, and as long as we take out the pairs, it's really easy. When they do come out in groups, you use your ultimate. Running in as a tank, I'm attacking first and outthrowing the boss. My tank is a Imperial for health, so I do have a pretty high health pool. I put a lot of points into stamina to increase my abilities and still allow me to do decent damage as a tank. My abilities that I'm increasing are mostly defensive abilities. Every ability I have, except for one, helps my defense out in some way, or my job as a tank. Most tanks think their only job is to taunt and survive. I believe a tank works in tandem with your healer to protect the team. I'm reducing enemy damage, I'm throwing down shields not just for myself but for everybody, damage mitigation, team protection. That is my primary focus. If I can taunt the big enemies that do the massive damage, keep them on me, they're not one-hitting my teammates, it's really easy for the healer to keep me alive and to keep my teammates alive. I want to try to stay within range of the healer, generally. I'm not very good with this tank right now. A lot of you are probably going to scrutinize me, and I love constructive criticism. Go ahead. I know I did a terrible job though. Just terrible. But that's because I hadn't played this tank in months. I've been working on new characters, and this is the first time this tank had ever done White Gold Tower. So I was screwing up with my ability bar, not putting on my buffs proper, a lot. My main goal was to keep the boss on me and keep putting up shields for everybody, which naturally also gave them minor brutality buff. Reducing enemy damage, so when they do hit my teammates, it doesn't do that much, and it's really easy for our healer to keep everybody at full health, or for people to revive others. I do lose the boss at times, and there are other times where they specifically say, "Hey, Straj, can you get some of these ads off me?" And I try to help DPS the ads, or at least taunt them to get them off of my teammates. I get pulled into the cages a lot. I don't know why, it's annoying when it happens, but you gotta work with it. As soon as you get pulled in, call it out. Let your teammates know, hey, I'm in the cage. So that way, the healer can position himself between you and your teammates and keep you alive while you're burning, and your teammates know, hey, we need to self-heal, or watch out, the tank's gone, we don't have those shields or those taunts. I like to use Warhorn because it buffs my teammates' defense, my defense as a tank, as well as stats for sustainability, and with those stats, max magic, max stamina, it's buffing your damage. I use the Warhorn morph that gives you minor protection for yourself and your whole team for over 30 seconds. This way, everybody's protected with minors. I'm buffing my teammates' defenses with that, and the shields, reducing enemy damage, giving them heals, helping out the healer with vigor, buffing their max health. I'm making it a lot harder for them to take any damage. I do have my dots that I'm constantly throwing on there. Searing Strike. Other things will also do damage in secondaries. Everything I have pretty much does both defense and offense. You'll see me taking a lot of damage, even though it might not look like it. There are times when I'm blocking quite a lot. I'm getting my stamina back from passives, And you can see that we killed this boss pretty easily our first time through. I will speed up the video a little bit so you don't have to watch the annoying ads, but I will allow you to see it so that way you can tell that this is a legit run through. There are some times with bosses I will cut out the failures so you guys don't have to put up with that. That first boss we did beat on our first try. The Planar inhibitor we had to try more than once though, and the final boss we did have to try more than once. And those will be cut out. Also, any long extended period of just standing, walking around will either be sped up or cut out. A lot of my abilities are not fully leveled up yet, but still you can see what I'm working on for my ability bar there. Lots of defensive ones, shields. Throwing down that war horn for the expensive and for the resource. And then I'm also using my Dragon's Leap because it is cheap if I can't afford war horn. And it gives me a shield, so if I am in trouble, I can get that 6-second shield cheap and some resources back to hopefully allow me to sustain to use my next potion. And again, fighting a lot of these ads, you can see me focusing on the big ads first. You will also see with the fire-breathing guys that I'm running around them, trying to dodge most of that fire because it throws on dots, which is something I'll go over later in the video. Because those dots can be deadly. Those guys are not really that hard if you dodge most of the dots, or keep your distance from them, or even take turns taking the dots. With these next 3 bosses, you want to focus on one at a time. Generally, I like to grab their attention while we try to figure out who we're going to deal with first. Either the one who does the most damage over there, their Dragonite fighter, or the one with the shield. The one with the shield, even though you think he's a tank because he's got this sword and shield, actually is the easiest one to kill. So we chose to go after him first in this one. Then we went after the one who did the most damage, and then the healer. I also tried to taunt them and lure them away from the healer many times. I stood in AoEs a couple of times because my character could take it. We had an amazing healer on hand. And because of the constant shields I could drop. However, if you are not a tank, you do not want to stand in those AoEs. Get away, fight with range. Also, if you're having problems with this boss, you may want to, as the tank, grab the DPS character and run him away. Then allow your DPS characters to take out their tank first, then quadruple team the DPS character. The healer will have a hard time with this because he needs to keep everybody at full health. The DPS character uses Steel Tornado, which does increased damage the weaker your opponents are, and his will do massively more damage than the regular players when you're hurt. So everyone needs to stay at full health, and that thing is garbage. But if someone's at even half health, it's gonna tear you up. I've seen it do over 20,000 in a hit, even to a tank. Also, on my character build, you'll see I use Ignis Shields a lot. That is my primary magic ability on my main bar. That thing is going to give me massive, massive passives. It's giving me shields, it's giving my teammates shields, it's increasing the shields for me by 100%, which means it's now actually a really good buff for me defensively. Even though it is a magic-based ability, it is actually based on my health for how strong it is. So if I've got nothing in magic, I use my magic on it. It can be really powerful with a lot of health. Very useful as a tank. For health, the stronger the shield for me and my teammates. It also increases with the morph I have all my healing by 30%. That is a huge buff, especially for something like Vigor, which heals over 5 seconds. With my buffs, I can get my Vigor to heal 2k per second for 5 seconds. It's a 10k heal. It's not all at once, but it is a huge help because it is that to everybody, me and my teammates. And once I morph it, it can be an even bigger heal. Unbuffed, it is not quite a 2k heal yet. As I level my character up though, that may change. And once I morph it, it might even become 3k for me. Other passives for Igneous Shields are that it gives the minor brutality to everybody, not just my allies with a huge radius for a long period of time, but also myself. So as a stamina-based character, Dragonites have the ability to get minors really easily. Huge advantage. It also, if I'm earning ultimate, say I do a light attack first, and then I use it, once every 6 seconds, it's going to give me a flood of ultimate. So that helps me get my resources back with my ultimates or attacks. I'm actually doing the quest here, because like I said, this is my first time going through the dungeon. Other things that Igneous Shields gives besides ultimate, a major passive for it, which is honestly the number one reason I use it so often with this character as my only magic ability on my primary bar, is that I get 5% of my max stamina. Now, my max stamina is huge. It's not quite 30,000, but I'm planning on having 30 to 40,000 max stamina when this character is finished at Vet 16. And 5% of that, that's going to be 2,000 stamina. And that's without the Warhorn, without food. You know, if I start putting food in there and Warhorn it, 2,500 stamina easily every time I use my Igneous Shields. Igneous Shields only have 3,000 cost magic-based ability that will give me up to 2,000 or more stamina back every time I use it when this character is finished. So I can burn my magic and turn it into stamina right now, massively increasing my stamina sustainability.
Yeah, I get ultimate back like crazy with this tank. As a Dragonite, my Battle Roar, I get tons of resources, so resources are almost never an issue for me unless I'm just standing there blocking and not doing anything. I've got, for my primary bar, and I'm even thinking about changing some of this up, I've got Pierce Armor, Heroic Slash, Igneous Shield, Defensive Stance, and Vigor right now, and then my back bar, I'm using Rally, Hardened Armor, Brawler, Bone Shield, and Unstable Flame. Unstable Flame is only offensive, so I might drop it for something else. It's so cheap. It's only like 300 stamina, and it does like ridiculous damage. It says it does like over 10,000 damage unbuffed, you know. And once I buff it, it's just that's my one. I drop that on everybody, you know, one time, and I'm 10k, 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 10k over, you know, a 10-second period while I'm doing my other stuff. But almost everything I have is both defensive and offensive. Like Bone Shield, it's protecting me for 30% of my max health, which is like a 10k shield almost. But it also, anyone that attacks me takes damage, like a percentage of the. Wait, no, I think it's morph. Once I morph it, the enemies will take damage. I don't have that yet. I've got Brawler though, which, you know, that does 3,000 on strike, another 3,000 over 10 seconds, almost 4,000 over 10 seconds, and then it also gives me a shield for each guy I hit. It's a small shield, but it's every person I hit, it increases by 100%. So if there's a huge group of people, that's like a huge shield while doing, you know, that damage to all of them. So it's a good AoE. The Hardened Armor, that one right now, if they attack me, a percentage of it gets returned to as magic damage to the melee attackers, and it gives me a shield and, you know, my majors. The Rally, of course, buffing my offensive stuff and giving me the heals, so defensive and offensive. Then my primary bar, Pierced Armor, you know, allows everyone to do more damage to them, and it's cheap, it does do damage, so it's offensive that way, it's taunts them. So I've got Heroic Slash, which is good for, again, damage just like the Taunt, and it's pretty cheap, but it also gives me ultimate back, and it reduces their damage by 15%. So it's defensive to the whole team by reducing the enemy's damage. You already know about all the massive things that Igneous Shield could do. I'm not even going to bother going over all that and how it builds ultimate and stuff. And then the defensive stance reflects attacks, like spells that are targeting me, back to the caster and stuns them. So it's doing damage and being both defensive and offensive that way. Vigor is just a really good heal right now, that because my Vigor is like over 6k at the moment, and it'll get even stronger, you know, whenever I drop all my buffs, because 30% from Igneous Shield, 10% from Warhorn, so that's 40% right there, which is awesome. And of course, every time I heal people, that's going to give me ultimate too. So
you'll also see here in a bit that those Daedroth can be extremely dangerous if you let those burns stack up on you, because they might be 5,000 a second, and then they can become 10, 15, 20, and just ridiculous amounts. No matter how much healing and mitigations you have, once they're doing something that's going to take your full health out in a second, there's not much you can do about it. Here, you'll also notice that we didn't kill the portals fast enough. Whoever comes to the door gets that white screen. You need to get those portals right away. You take them out, you shouldn't have to mess with the healer here. You should only have to fight one Daedroth, and it's a lot easier. Alright, here's that Daedroth that one hits me.
it stacks. Every second that you're in there, he's stacking another burn and another burn and another burn on you, and it stays on you for like 30 seconds. And he does it like once every 5 seconds, so if he stacks like 10 burns on you, and it's doing like 1,000 damage a second, then he does it again and then again, you know, you're taking like 4,000 or 5,000 damage a second eventually. Kill him quickly. It did 88,000 damage to me, and then 32,000 damage to me. So that's a total of... wow, yeah, it did over 120,000 damage.
I was a little confused about that Daedroth hit at first, because I was like, wasn't I at full health? But it made sense. This character here is just a mini-boss. He's not really that hard, but the tank needs to make sure he's got aggro and has him face away from the team. Otherwise, his Fire Breath can one-hit a lot of weakened, less defensive people. Your DPS and your healing. Also, when he starts breathing in the air, everybody needs to go defensive mode. Dodge the big red circles. You cannot get away from the little ones. There's a similar character in City of Ash who does the same thing. As long as you stay out of the big ones, the little ones should not one-hit you. You're at full health. If you're having problems with them, Harness Magic, if you're a light armor character, will negate that damage. But focus during that phase of the battle purely on defense. Stay alive, keep throwing up shields, self-heal, stay at full health. The healer will probably have to heal like crazy through it, but as long as you get through that and the tank stays on the character, this boss is really easy to kill. Now, I made the mistake of standing in AoEs and lots of fire, but again, as a tank, I wasn't too worried about it. Now, we talked a lot of strategy, and this next character we actually had to fight, I believe 2 or 3 times. Then we figured out our mistake quite quickly. What we were doing wrong was, I was grabbing the centerpiece, and then nobody else would. They were waiting on me, and I told them they need to grab it right away.
Yeah, I'll grab it first. But yeah, that way, one of you grabs it, then I grab it, then another one grabs it, then I grab it, then the other one grabs it, unless they're on portals. It should be someone else almost every time. That way you guys don't get that big burn on you. I can handle it because I got the health, but...
I will burn your very souls!
yeah, and then run the other way, and then I'll grab it again as soon as it becomes available again.
Against my flame.
As soon as we went over that strategy, and they started grabbing it right away, we beat it on our first attempt. Now, there were 2 attempts before this that we did fail, but that was only because we weren't grabbing the inhibitor properly. I did make the mistake of getting the portals because of some bad timing, and a few of the Daedroth got through. But whenever that happens, your DPS, and your healer still need to focus on the inhibitor primarily, and whoever's not doing that, the other DPS, the other character, need to stop fighting the boss and focus solely on those ads. You need to get rid of the ads, or they will just get in your way, they'll build up. Once they're gone, back onto the boss. Now, this boss does take a while. The blue flames on this boss is an instant kill. You need to avoid those. If you can't move, roll dodge. As a DPS character, if you don't have a lot of stamina, if you're a magic build, grab that thing, run away, and hopefully someone else can grab it as soon as possible. Try to run straight away from the boss. Don't kite so much. It only takes about a second, as you see there, before someone else can grab that centerpiece. And if you're rotating who's grabbing it, that burn doesn't stack up, A 1k burn on him is not too bad, a 1k burn on him is not too bad, a 2k on the tank is not too bad, but if you have one person with 4k per second burning on him, that's huge, especially while the boss is attacking and slowing you down. If you can't run, if you're out of that stamina, if you can't roll dodge, get away, he's going to catch up to you with those blue flames. He's just going to instant kill you when he gets close. Anytime he does his jump and goes down, it resets the dots, it resets the slowdown on everyone, so it shouldn't build up too bad on any one person, and it gives you a chance to DPS it. Here I have the portals. You can see, even as a tank, you should be able to take those portals out quickly. I am not doing it the most effective way here. I am walking up and just puncturing them because I can puncture really fast twice. If I had an extra skill point, I could have used chains and then puncture. The 20% from the chains buff, along with the damage from the chains itself, might be enough to allow me to one-hit it. If I have to two-hit it, it would still be faster than what I'm doing here because I wouldn't have to run from portal to portal. I just chains, kill it, chains, kill it, kill it. It should happen as fast as possible. I'm trying to keep the ads busy because, again, I'm a tank, trying to weaken them, allow my teammates to kill them faster because we have to get rid of those ads. And as soon as it's going to become available when they get out of the way, I'm going to grab that centerpiece so that everything can be chasing me while my DPS take care of it. They take care of the ads first, then back to the boss, and we're on track. We got other people on portals. And when the boss gets below about 25-30% health, you'll start to get 2 people on portals. Now, don't panic. When that happens, it's a little harder to DPS the boss, yes. It's definitely harder to take on ads if they get through, but communication is the key. One of you gets half of the room, the other one gets the other half of the room. I will get portals, and I will call them gate side. And because that was the side I was on the first time. The second time, I actually do ad side. But that's the end of the match.
Attack the rifts. She calls her
But I get that whole half of the room, so I don't have to run all the way across the room to get the portals. And I don't have to focus, I'm just killing my stuff, he's killing his. When 2 people are on portals, if you communicate and are organized, it's actually much, much easier to deal with the portals. No ads should be getting through unless you screw up or you maybe have a healer or a tank that can't do a lot of damage. If a tank absolutely cannot kill a portal, he needs to go and redesign his character. Because you can't have any character doing absolutely no damage. Even as a tank, your primary job is to survive. But you're going to have a lot of points of either stamina or magic so that you have those survival abilities, which still means you have at least half the damage of a DPS. And a DPS should be able to one-hit these portals easily, without even using their primary attack or special. A tank, even when I'm getting criticals, I one-hit a portal just a second ago. So if I can one-hit them on vet 16 with a vet 4 tank, your vet 16 tanks have no excuse. It is definitely harder. Yes, some ads will sneak through, especially if you can't blink over there or chains over there, or if you get the order mixed up, you can't always get the order perfectly right.
My spell
Things
has
happen.
revealed the rifts.
Don't freak out. Don't yell, oh my god, this tank's horrible. Deal with the problem and go back to fighting the boss. Work as a team and communicate. This is easily the hardest battle in the dungeon because it takes so much is going on at once. You've got people working together to keep the inhibitor on you. You've got people working together, organized to deal with the portals, and you're still trying to do your job. Tank is still trying to keep the ads off people, stay alive, keep the inhibitor on him. Healer is still trying to heal everybody while still doing the inhibitor and possibly portals. Your DPS are dealing with the boss and actually killing him. And here, whenever the boss gets below about 10% health, and you can wait till even 5%, that's when you say screw it, you focus on the boss, you burn him down,
After her.
and just finish it, even if there's portals.
You must face her before
Yeah.
she slays us all.
I tried to stay on the portals because I was a tank, but they burnt him down, finished him off, and even though ads were getting through, it didn't matter because they all disappeared when the boss died. The last boss is right after that inhibitor, so don't give up if you're stuck on it. The last boss is not really that hard, but there is a lot of getting used to his attacks. If you don't get used to his attacks properly, you're gonna just be killing yourself over and over again. He's got a lot of insta-kill, massive damage stuff going on. If you read the book, I believe that helps you out. It's supposed to make him stronger, and it does make him harder for the tank to deal with. And if the tank is down, it makes him harder for the rest of the team. However, I think it makes him easier because he's not doing his damage over time on everybody. If the tank can handle the hits, then it makes the boss a lot easier. If you can get rid of his lightning or avoid it entirely, it makes him a lot easier. The lightning does move faster, however, when you read the book. And Tafsum rolls into a lot of his AoEs and instant dies a lot. But he picked up on that. I cut off our first video of us dying on this boss, but this time, our second or third time around on this boss, we breezed through it. Because we had, learned not to roll dodge into the AoEs of the little guys. We learned to not get too far or too close when he's doing his jumps. And anytime something went wrong, we just picked each other up, called out the Atronach, and focused on him whenever he was out. I stayed on the boss mostly. And I do get caught and killed by the Atronach. But I don't let that get to me, because my teammates pick me up and we keep going. It happens. We had our DPS Sork drop a whole bunch of shields, stall the boss for a short period of time, and that allowed me to get back up, taunt the boss, bring him back over to me. I mean, even as a Dragonite, you could drop something like your Magma Shell. That 10 seconds could be enough to pick up the tank and get him back over there.
Die! Give up! It breaks my light!
A healer could distract him, focus on heals, keep himself and everyone alive while you pick up somebody.
Reduce the mortals to dust!
Odds are someone's gonna make a mistake and people will go down. Just pick them up. Try not to let 2 or more people go down at once. The Atronach is the biggest thing to do. Keep DPS in the box, because he'll switch phases to his jump phase, and at that point, that's the chance you can kill all but one of the ads, work on getting your ultimate back, pick everybody up. It's a little hard to pick people up during that phase, but while he's changing out of the phase, it's really easy to pick somebody up, if just one person is down.
Silence the mortals!
It does take us quite a while on this boss. I'm a close range combat specialist, so I was dropping dots, bleeds, and then switching back and forth between multiple adds. And anytime I saw other people attacking them, I just got away, let my bleeds focus on it. You can see there, I saw he was taking damage, I got away from him in advance. Someone else was getting picked up at the time. Guy died, I avoided it as soon as I saw him going down. And back to fighting the boss like normal.
Reduce the mortals to dust.
We do throw shards in the middle. We try to pick them up to get the lightning to disappear. Makes it a lot easier. However, if you do not read the book, I don't know if you can do that. The lightning is very easy to just walk with if you're closer to the center because it's so slow if you don't read the book. And if you have to, roll through the lightning. Roll toward it, and you'll be on the other side. You'll take no damage. No problem. With a little bit of stamina, the lightning is not an issue. Coordinated movement, the lightning is not an issue. Lightning. Sorry. Toward the end of his battle, he will summon two at once. If you're going to roll through it when they're almost together. Or roll through the middle to the other side. Don't try to jump over it. Yes, sometimes you can jump over the lightning. But other times you can't, and it will catch you. You can also synchronize with other abilities like standard. Not all synchronizes will work at getting rid of the lightning. And like I said, I think you have to read the book in order for that to happen. If your tank is having a hard time with this, maybe you don't want to read the book. Everybody else is going to take some damage over time effects, making it harder for them to stay alive from all of his lightning attacks. But if your healer is on point, that shouldn't be an issue. Vice versa, if the healer is having problems keeping everyone else alive, maybe the tank does need to read the book. Keep it all on him. Whenever you see that guy jumping, run toward the middle and block. Reduce the damage you take, reduce the knockback. His jumps will push you further and further back each time. If you are too close to the middle, it will knock you further back. If you're too far away from the middle, it will knock you back just enough to put you into the fire along the outside. And if you touch that, it will instant kill you. So there's a sweet spot more in the middle, where if you're in it, closer toward the center, but in the middle, and you block, you will not die. And after so many jumps, he resets. So you can keep going with him in that phase indefinitely. However, getting to that sweet spot, every maybe 8 jumps he does, is very difficult. And once he does, that final jump, if you're not in that sweet spot, he's going to instant kill you and the whole team. So you either need to get rid of the adds before he gets to that jump. And it might not be the 8th, I just threw a number on there. But like I said, you want to kill the adds before he gets to that jump and it instant kills everybody, or you need to know and be in that sweet spot. And when he's down this low, then just to finish him, because he'll only summon those adds twice. Dragon's Leap for the win. Didn't get the helmet, unfortunately. Did get some spell power cure gauntlets. But being event 4, they were, you guessed it, only event 4. Frustrating.
Follow me.
Because I actually need spell power cure. Been looking for that and some others, but the drops have just been horrible. However, hopefully with another embers, maybe I'll get something nice from the chest. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you want to join my guild strategy, help out with these videos, you can find me on the Xbox One version of ESO. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.